Hey everybody, it's Cynthia from Including You Journals. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to do something today I have never had the courage to do in creating a YouTube video, and that is a fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. I typically have something already made and ready to show, and or at least in my mind I have a template that I prepared. Even if I don't show it on video, I've at least walked through it one time. But I watch the great creators in junk journaling do what I call fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. They just sit down and begin to let their minds wander and their creativity flow, and they make something. Well, I have an idea, which I think is what they pretty much have as well when they get started, but I haven't made a completed one yet. Probably because I see it in so many variations that I'm not quite sure how it's going to turn out. And I decided, okay, I think today's the day. I'm going to turn the video on, the camera on, and let's just get something together and see how it turns out. I may have to throw this video in the trash, and if that happens, then c'est la vie. It happens, okay? All right, but if you'd like to just come along with me and see what happens, I would appreciate your company and would thank you for joining me. So let's go. What I've done is I have this incredible book from Edith Holden, and I think I paid about 20 bucks for it off of Amazon. It's one of the hardbound covers, the Nature Notes of an Edwardian Lady book that she did. And the book pages are this size, if you can see that. And I have I'm going to go ahead and measure these for you just because I have this here. So 10 is the height, and about 8 is the width. So about 10 up and down and about 8 inches the width is what I'm playing with. And I'm still stuck on those Gatefold cards. I'm sorry, I thought I was completely leaving those behind, but I'm still thinking about other ways that they can be used, gatefolding papers that can be used. I love the fact that in a journal, I see people creating flips, and I like to create flips and pockets that open up, and trifolds and whatnot. And I just simply wanted to use a card making idea of gatefolds to create something that might go in my journal that would be a lot of fun for someone to either utilize for writing, or something that would be pretty in a journal. So I have already begun folding, and you know me, I don't measure. So what I did is I overlapped a little trifold, and you can sort of see about this much, like this. So maybe 1.5 inches, not quite 2 inches, I don't think. I have it down here, it looks like it's about 1 inch. Wow, my measuring is off. So I've just overlapped it, and then I still wanted it to meet in the middle because I want a gatefold that opens up. But I'm not sure I like the shortness of this. So I'm going to build onto this little flap here and then play with some things. I have some flowers and butterflies and birds and labels laid out to play with in a moment, but I'm not quite sure how I want to build this. So I think these are little 6x6 cards, and that's not what I want. And I also have some William Holden papers that I might play with a little bit. Let's see here. Geez, isn't that pretty? You know what? I think I'm going to have to use that. But I'm not going to have to use much because I only want it the width of my gatefold, what I'm doing there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it onto that little tab. That is going to remain there. I don't want to waste the paper, so I'm probably going to cut the end off because it's sort of a serrated, torn edge there. I want to cut that straight. Can you just leave it torn? Absolutely. Okay, so this is what I have in mind. Let me put the lid on the gold here, on the glue here, on the gold. I wish it were gold. Okay, so I'm just gonna come in like so. I hope I don't have the camera too close. All right, now this is what I have. I think I like this side because it's all the way to the edge of my card in the back, and if I make this side the same way, then I think I'm just really going to like that, and I'll put something inside to write on and something to look at. So I'm trying to think, do I want to do the very same thing or do I want something different? Somebody else might have said different, but I'm going to play it safe and do the same on both sides. So let's glue here. I hope you're all doing well. I am videoing at a little ahead of time. I have been working part-time in a field that I've never worked in before. I'm a retired middle school teacher, but I have been working in marketing and sales for a company that happens to be owned by a cousin and her husband. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't have the time to make videos like I want to. Okay, I'm gonna have to see if I can't press that down a little bit better. I don't have a bone folder handy. But I somehow felt a folding under there, and I want to make sure that has good contact and dries flat. And I believe it does now. All right, there you go. If you're beginning and you don't have a bone folder, then you just simply use the edge of a pair of scissors, the scissors handle. It works well. Again, I'm just going to turn this over, come at the side here. And I think this is, I hope it's not so close that it's blurring everything for you. Okay, now what I would like to do is trim this off a little even here. I'm going for my Big Bang scissors. And oh, I think I'm going to really like this. Look at this. And I'm going to cover, I didn't think I would cover this page up, but that just looks like a manila folder to me, so I want to go ahead and put something on this page as well. But look how pretty that's going to be as a gatefold, and then we can add some other items like a butterfly or whatnot that we can add, something we can actually see, or a flower. Okay, now down the side, wonder if this ribbon, what will this ribbon look like here? This is a little crocheted piece, and guess what? I'm going to use it. That way I can kind of keep that old color, that hue of, you know, how paper fades out when it's getting older. And we have that in these wonderful Edith Holden pages. So I do want to keep that as much as possible. And maybe utilizing this little thin ribbon will allow me to do that. And I am using art glitter glue. Okay, and here. And I'm just making sure I'm pressing down to make sure that it makes good contact with that glue and the little ribbon. So, oh, I really like how pretty that looks. I actually think that doesn't need anything else on it. I really like that. And, oh, great, look at this. Okay, surprise, surprise. I'm probably gonna leave this so that one can journal there. That's a little hidden journaling spot. And did I do as well on this side? Yes, I did. I love that. So I'm not gonna decorate the inside of that flap. It'll just be a little, you know how we do those little Rita Donnelly corner tucks where you flip up the corner? Well, okay, I think we just have a little flipped corner there, or a little flipped edge that we can journal in. Let's open this up and see how we want to decorate on the inside. And I do think I want some journaling space, maybe right in here especially. So I kind of like this card. It has a little bit of a line by the coloration that's in there. So let's see if we can just tear this. So yes, sometimes I like to tear and sometimes I like to cut. I think all of us are about that way. Maybe some prefer more one way than another. Let's see about how wide that's going to be. I think that's fine. I like that I can still see this Edith Holden writing out from underneath there, but then I can journal here, and maybe I can put a bird on the inside to make this be what I want to make it be. And I'm going to flip over now and change my glue to my, I think I'm going to use a Yoo-Hoo glue stick for this. Making sure that I don't glue the entire page together. Rachel did something really cool the other day. She made some pockets with some little slide closures over them. She just folded pieces of paper together and it turned out so cool. And I'm like, oh, I've got to try that. So maybe in another journal, I can try something of that nature. And I don't want it to go all the way to the end because I have some here and there. Okay. Okay, now I have journaling. I have some Edith Holden text. And of course, it is just printed text from a machine. I know it's not her handwriting, but it's from her book. So this is what we have. Let me make sure well, it might be good if I made sure I was in the screen. I am so sorry about that. So here we have this little journaling spot where I would simply, and I'm pretty sure I would just glue this part down to a journal page, and then I would have this flip out here. Hopefully that would come out farther and whatnot. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to do some flowers and whatnot in here. I might better just keep that handy for flowers. What looks pretty there? Okay, definitely a blue butterfly to pull that blue in. Okay, this. So here. And possibly, let's see what flower I have and how large it is. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. And, okay, so I typically go all quiet when I'm thinking. That's why I sort of have to work through what I'm doing ahead of time. If not, I'm not talking to anybody on the video. So, all right, I think that's enough. I'm going to go ahead and trim the edges off of this. Let's see how that's going to lie. Well, of course, that's a stupid thing to do. I never see anybody cutting the edges off before they glue it down. And here I had to cut those edges off, and look, now my flower's at the very end. Well, I'll just glue it down as is, and then I'll cut the edge off the flowers. I didn't want to do that. Oh, well, right? Okay, it is salvageable. I just want you to know that's not what I was thinking about doing. Sometimes that happens. I would prefer to do that off camera though, but you know, I really like it when I see other artists, other journal makers make those mistakes or talk about how they're going to change. That's not what they wanted to have happen, but since it happened, how can we fix that? I really like hearing the way they think through what they're working on. And so hopefully this will be beneficial, that I am doing that same kind of thing. I just don't feel so good at it as I think they might be. And maybe they don't feel so good at it either, but I don't know. They do a great job of it. I love when Rachel sits down and just creates seemingly off the cuff, and it turns out so beautifully. I've seen Gail do some things like that, and Tracy Fox, and I know I've seen Wendy at Wendy's Journal Creations do some of that. And I love when they sit down and do it. It's just, it turns out so beautifully. Okay, cool, I love how that's looking. Okay, gonna go back to art glitter for the butterfly. And Miss Paint-A-Lot, good night. This lady, if you haven't seen, Wendy is who suggested we watch her. If you haven't gone over, I love what she's creating. She did something great with some butterflies and cards, and oh my goodness, I just simply loved what she did. It was gorgeous. So many great ideas out there floating around. And I love that we can watch something and take it, you know, it gives us an idea. Therefore, we can take it and create what we think from that. And I haven't seen anybody do anything like this, but lots of things like it. So hopefully it's a little different than what you've seen. Lisa Curcio is who I watch on the card making on the YouTube. It's on YouTube, and she has a channel by Lisa Curcio. I think she's a Stampin' Up creator, distributor, and she makes cards. And I just get ideas sometimes from her as much as I get from another journal creator. So here's that, and I think I want a little something to, this is a little Tim Holtz tiny label here. I want to put it, I think, up at the top. Let me see what that looks like. If I can get it going the right direction. Yep. So if I just do that, I think I like that. Let's try it there. Oh, wow. Can you see how gatefolds will be so much fun in journals because they have that interaction of a flip, that flip action going on. I hope that you will maybe even go to some Stampin' Up creators that you see on YouTube and find some ideas for yourself, but hopefully this will get you going in that direction. I just think that would be so lovely in a journal, just on a journal page. So for example, do I have a journal that I can reach? Let me see if I do. I don't know if it'll fit in this one. I didn't see how tall that paper was, but okay, so here, if I wanted to put this in a journal, oh, I could even do like a glue it down this side and glue here, and that way I would have a tuck spot. I could do that, but I could also just glue this entire back down so that now it becomes a flip out with writing space, journaling space inside, journaling space inside. Doesn't that look like a lot of fun? Okay, I really like that. And we could make those little bands that go around them with paper going all the way around, and maybe put it in a way that we would be able to take the band off the top or something Like we could glue it in from the bottom 3 corners, 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, and the band could slip up this way and you would still have that, and then it would be closed as well. Oh, I love that. So I'm gonna leave that out to dry and we'll try another one. And I'll show you what my next idea was, which was truly where I was going to begin with, but I really like how that turned out, so I could see making some more of those. Excuse me. This was my second piece of Edith Holden paper, and what I did is, let's go ahead and cut this bottom off. Okay. So this time I matched up just a little better that meeting in the fold so that this fold was a little bit wider. The only thing is, okay, so I think that looks about right. There's a little more room here than here, but am I gonna cut off any more of that? Yes, I'm gonna put that in my machine. Hold on one second while I get my paper cutter. Excuse me for the reach. Wow, when I cut that, I really cut that at an odd angle. Let's see if that did any better though. Okay. Yeah, but I about made it too short again. But I can play with that. I can go ahead and glue something up underneath to have that pull out there. Wow, I love that text on the paper here and here. Again, I have a nice journaling spot. I like that. And here is journaling space. And you know what? I'm not going to decorate that. I'm not going to put the William Holden or any kind of Italian paper on this one like I did this last one. I'm going to let this lovely paper, this Edith Holden book paper, stand up on its own, and I will just simply put something now on the inside, and we'll see how that turns out. It may not be something that you like. It might not be something I like. I may not ever use it again. I don't know, but at least I will have an idea. And do I just want to use this is nothing more than an index card that has been tea stained. It fits right in there nicely, and I think I'm going to use that. I like the color of that. I could turn it over and glue it in this way, but then you'd have to turn your book cattywampus to right on those north-south lines. So I think I'm going to glue on the line part to get that into the book, and just so that we will have now some simple plain journaling space. Yeah. I think sometimes over the top is the best, but sometimes I think just simple is pretty cool as well. Did I get that in there? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay. And now let's do a little bit of decorating with some birds and whatnot. Wonder what this would look like on that page. I like that. Look at that tone on tone. Okay, I don't know if you like that, but I like it. I'm gonna try it. Sort of that manila, ecru-y kind of color. And I'm turning him that way so I can just see how far I can go over to get him in that spot. Okay, what else do I have? Do I have any more tonal kinds of things? That is a little bit of that. It just reminds me of Edith Holden. It's sort of that tone on tone kind of thing going on there. And I'm going to put glue on that and put it down first, and then I will trim off the edge and we'll see how that goes. The opposite of what I was doing before. Isn't it fun though? Don't you find yourself just having a good time sitting down to craft? You don't have to be following anything. You just want to see how things work out, and you're trying something new. You have ideas, you've seen something, your brain is a whirl, and you just simply, and I'm sorry for turning this, but I want to make sure I get this as close in to that fold as I can to save as much of the flour as I can. Let's go down just a little bit. Yep, it's going to let me do that. And of course, I had to put glue over here on this card. And I have glue all over my fingers. Okay. 1 second while I'm trying to get the glue off my fingers. Okay, I'm going to cut off the edges. Now, what do you think? Do you like that tone on tone there? I really like that. This is very Edith Holden-y. Looks old, like it's been in a part of the book page and that it's been in there for a while. That's what I like about it. Okay, can I find anything else now that might go along with that? I'm looking at little tags I have to the side. Some are my creations. Some I found on the Graphics Fairy. And some are little Tim Holden kinds of things. I think I like that little cluster right there, so we'll try that. Of overlapping labels. Are you working on Easter journals right now? Easter is fast coming upon us. Are you doing spring or botany kinds of things? Wow, here we go. Okay, so I believe I like that. And you know what? I like that little bit of tag up on the start right here in that last one. I'm gonna go for it and copy myself one more time. And now here we have, all right, we have the word May. Let me come over. Okay, we have the word May and the number 69. I love page numbers showing up. We see a little bit of text. I love that it's that old yellowed paper from Edith Holden, and then we open this gatefold up so that we have some interaction. I think that would be lovely in a journal. And again, you could do kind of what we did before. On this part of the page, you could use a little ruffle if you wanted to add that. I'm gonna leave it, I believe, just as is. You may see it later in a journal, and I've changed my mind and added a little ruffle from some ribbon, but that's how I'm gonna leave it. I really like that. So look at the two that we made today. And that was just simply this way. And I was gonna show you how, because I didn't measure, how I actually came up with that. And to come up with this little bit there, let me move that out of the way and show you. I just took this Edith Holden page and I did a trifold like this. And then I bent it back over to get that little place. I did it, let's see, I think it was about 1 inch on that first one. And that way I only had the little bit that came back that we decorated. And then on the second one, I did a trifold. You might actually have to come in a little bit more and then fold back here. So for example, this is what I'm going to try. We'll see if it works. I'll do it. And then if you decide that you don't want to do that, at least you'll see it done one time with me. So I'm going to fold like so. Okay, so this time I went over the third. You can see that the paper is stuck out here and it's turned up here. And now I'm going to fold back half of that. And we'll see if it meets in the middle. And this is the look that I was actually going for all along. And well, this page is a little bit thick. Okay, so let's see what's happened. Well, on one side, for some reason, and again, it's because I'm not measuring, I am getting it to meet right at the edge of the back side. But look at how this side did. I've got a little paper left over, so I could still do that. I could cut this part off, and we'll do that right now on camera. But at least it gives you the idea without measuring how I came up with that. And so then we have this to pull out. Now, I think what I would do here is I believe I would go ahead and I just don't like how this is laying out and it looks like I've cut it or folded it a little oddly here. It's a little closer to the line here, a little further here, so I can tell that cut is, or the fold itself is just a little bit off. So I would probably decorate this with some William Morris paper, something of that nature, and again, come in and do the same thing. Okay, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what you can do and what you can start with. I hope you'll try this. It's a lot of fun. You can measure if you want to. You can play with it like I did and just enjoy what you come up with and how it turns out. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope life is good for you, and I hope you join me again in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.